Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here with the McFarlane Gold Label Collection, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher Wild Hunt. This is from the first wave of the McFarlane Gold Label series. You can see that right there. Gold Label. Found this at Walmart. It's a Walmart exclusive, and I don't actually know anything about The Witcher. I haven't played the games. I haven't watched the Netflix show or read the books or anything like that, so I'm not too familiar with this character or anything about him, but I saw this at Walmart and I had to pick it up. So let's look right at it. It's got a pretty nice box. It's got this kind of stone texture printed on it, the gold label obviously. This is an interesting note here, not a toy. Okay, if you say so. It's got, I like this box. It's got kind of these sort of cutouts that are sort of, medieval ruin looking sort of things, but I don't know exactly if that ties in anything in the game other than just the style. So here we go. This is the box. That's one side. That's the other side. And that's the back. Got a picture of the toy here. 22 moving parts. CD Projekt Red, and then there is the UPC and all that stuff. If you guys are trying to hunt this down, maybe that'll help. It is Walmart though, so we know how that goes. They're not always the best at having stuff in stock or helping you when they do have it in stock. So let's get right into it. Let's open it up. All right, so there he is right there. He's got pretty cool in the background there, this sort of print of this medieval looking icons and stuff. He's got two swords. He's got a stand with the Witcher printed on it, but let's get that out. So this looks like a lot like the DC Multiverse figures as far as just the scale, the way it feels, the articulation that they're using. And I really like these. I like the paint application. I mean, back in the day, McFarlane used to be really detailed and have like a ton of paint applications on it, but I feel like probably to fit more in the $20 price point, they've kind of scaled down the level of paint detail, but I like it. I think it's kind of like a vibrant sort of graphic style paint job. So if you wanted to put a black wash on this to bring out, these kind of details or stuff like that, you could do it and it would look great, but I like the way they look out of the box. Let's just look at his really good paint on the face, the eyes, the scars on his face. Looks good. All this detail in here is super cool. Just all this chainmail and, seams stitched together and all that stuff. There he is. Let's get his swords out. So here are the two swords. These are pretty cool looking, like medieval sort of two-handed kind of broadsword things. So he's got these sheaths on his back, but they're not full. They don't go all the way around, which I know a lot of people have been annoyed at that. Like they did it with the Deathstroke from the Arkham series. And like the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman that's coming out is the same thing where the sheath doesn't go all the way around. It's not like a deal breaker for me. I can understand why people are annoyed, but yeah, if this is something that bothers you, well, guess what? You're in for more. So let's just see if these slide in. I'm assuming this one goes in here because it's got that kind of notch right there. That's my guess. And you can see kind of the way it fits snug all the way in there. And that one goes in there like that. And that looks rad, but I mean, if this bothers you, being able to see that like that, or in the backside here, the underneath, I mean, you can just see them right there. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it is what it is. So let's see how he moves. Yeah, he's got these same sort of shoulders that the multiverse figures all have. Bicep cut right there, right at where this meets. I like how high this is able to go up, even because these shoulder pads are kind of soft and rubber, and he can get a pretty good range of motion in his shoulder. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with that. Let's check his yeah, double elbows, so he could answer the phone if somebody called him. I don't know if people are calling each other on the phone in medieval times, but full split. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme right there. That looks good. And this comes up pretty high. This is rubber, so it doesn't get in the way too much if you wanted to do a full kick. That's pretty good. There he is. And I like how this rotates, actually. So if, depending on the pose, if you wanted to obscure the fact that you could see those swords, you could do that. So double knees. He didn't want to quite kick his own butt. It's kind of catching right here. That's about, you can see these pieces kind of hitting each other. So that's about as much as he gets. He's probably the same here too. Yeah, same thing. But if you wanted, I feel like if you wanted to get him in a crouch, you probably could. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Although, no thigh cut. We come to expect that from these newer McFarlane figures, and it doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, stuff like this, that's a little better. That's not bad. All right. Yeah, the ankles that we all have come familiar with. Toe articulation, that's pretty good. These joints are a little big. Same for the wrists. They're a little loud, but that's all right. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that works as expected. What about his head? See, he's got this hair sculpted right here, so he does not have much. He can't really look up much higher than that sort of default, just because his hair is in the way. But he can kind of cock his head. But that, I mean, not much there. It is what it is. And that, okay, so here's what I'm really curious about. This has got the rubber torso here to cover any joints, and he does. He's got a good range of motion, really, in there with this rubber torso. I mean, that's pretty good. I like that. But, one thing, this is soft rubber here, so it'll bend if you lift his leg up. He's got a good one. See, that's pretty good range for having that rubber torso, but, when you bend it, it cinches like that. So I think all the people that are like, why didn't they use this rubber torso for the Spawn Kickstarter? I mean, I think there's your answer, because it cinches like that, and it's not great looking. So, everything's a little bit of give and take. You get some good function, you maybe lose some aspects, and that's part of it. I mean, I like it. I'm into it. This is pretty cool, especially considering I don't know anything about Witcher. I mean, I think this is rad. Let's get the swords in his hand if we can. These are a little tapered down at the bottom, so I'm kind of using them to squeeze it into his hand at the bottom. Come on. His left hand's maybe a little bit more cinched closed, so it doesn't want to take this as well. And it's actually, see, I'm trying to push that in, but it's bending his finger, which is kind of annoying. Come on, buddy. Help us out. Okay, there we go. Yeah. You can hear that, can you? I don't know. Some people would say maybe, oh, you know, put them in warm water and that might loosen the hands up. I'm always a little hesitant to do that. I'm always worried it might hit the point of no return and then never be kind of tight again. And I don't think this left hand, you can see when it's in there, it kind of pushes his fingers. You know, it's maybe not necessarily meant to hold the sword like that. See, it just doesn't. I'm not crazy about that. But let's see if we can get two hands on it. I mean, he can hold it with two hands, but I don't know that you can do much more beyond that. See, he can hold with two hands, but that kind of, to me, that feels kind of like a weird, like static, not very dynamic pose, especially like, I can't, you know, do much with his head. So I feel like that's when it comes down to like giving him a cool action pose, like I don't know if these are gonna give us what we want. It feels like, and it might be because of these joints, but it feels like his right leg is a little longer than his left leg, because I'm trying to stand it up and it is not wanting to work with me here. Well, that means it's time to pop out. Stand. That peg feels pretty snug, but get in there. Yeah, there he is. That's a pretty cool stance there with two swords. I did have to use this stand just to get him to even stand up in like a regular A pose, which is annoying. Let's see what he looks like next to Grim Knight, Marvel Legends cap. There you can kind of get a sense of how big he is, in line with the McFarlane 7-inch multiverse figures. But I mean, overall, he's pretty rad. I think he's gonna look cool. I mean, look, where's the cool details? His necklace, all these buckles, you know, these strings that are knotted. His costume. I really liked the sort of dirt built up kind of on his shoes. I think that's a nice touch. You know, he's got these sort of things on his knuckles that would really smart if he punched you in the face. Hair looks really good. So there he is. If you're into I mean, if you're into The Witcher, this would be like a no-brainer, I would think. And I mean, I'm not into it, and I think it's pretty rad. Let me know if you have this, what you think, if you've got it, what kind of poses you put in them in, and should I check out The Witcher, like the games or the show? Is it cool? Let me know down here. Subscribe, all that. All right, see ya.